Okay, today we're going to talk about function characteristics. And we're going to talk about how we describe a function. So we're going to specifically talk about increasing, decreasing, and constant, and positive and negative. Those are the two basic attributes we're going to talk about today. And so, first of all, every function we look at, we're going to look at it like a book. We're going to read from left to right. So we're always going to start on the left and go to the right. And the second thing, if I say it's increasing, I'm talking about the y's. Where is the y increasing? Or where is the y decreasing? Where is the y positive and where is it negative? And we're going to identify that with x's. So, the one thing before I go on, y'all, 0 is not positive or negative. 0 is not positive or negative. If it's on the x-axis, it's not going to count as positive or negative. So here's how this is going to work, y'all. So first of all, look at this function. Is it a function?
Yeah.
And how do I know it's a function? What does it have? The vertical line test, right? So yes, this is a function. So the first thing before I start, we already practiced, but let's make sure we have this right. The domain and range. So I have two arrows. This is going this way and this way. And this way and this way. X's are left to right. So my x's are going from negative infinity to positive infinity. So that's my domain. The range is going to go from the bottom to the top. And if I look, the bottom is these two. So this is negative infinity. And at the top, what is the top? 4. Is there an open circle there? And we know it's a closed circle because if it was an open circle, it would be an open circle like this. So this gets a bracket. Okay? So now I want to talk about increasing and decreasing. So I'm going to start on the left-hand side of the graph. If I start on the left-hand side and I put my finger or my pencil, am I going up or down? It's going up. So everybody see that? On that side, it went up. But what happens at that point then? What happens next? It goes down. So the blue is increasing and the pink is decreasing. The Y's are getting bigger and the Y's are getting smaller. Does everybody see that? We're going to name that with the X's. So the blue goes from negative infinity to right there. That's the X. That's where it goes. And so if it goes from negative infinity, what X is that? It's 0. So, y'all, there's something different about that. Why did I put a parenthesis on the 0? So, if I go here and all the way to the top, right, that's what X is defining, correct? The 0. At the very top, is it increasing or decreasing? So from this side, we'd say it's increasing. But from this side, what would we say? So it can't be both. So we exclude it from our interval. We do a parenthesis. Okay? So if that's true, this one, the decreasing, starts with the purple. It still starts at 0, and where does it go to? X's. What's on this side for my X? It's the positive infinity. Because
Why is it a 0? So we're describing an X.
okay, but let me start. Hang on a second. Let me start again. Y'all, we are describing what is happening to the Y's. I want to know, where are the Y's decreasing? The Y's are decreasing in the pink, correct? We describe it with the X's. So where does it start decreasing? What X value does it start at?
3.
It starts right here. What point is that for on the x-axis? It's 0. And then the question was, why did I put a positive infinity? Now, which way is this going?
Right.
Positive infinity. So I start at 0 and I go to infinity. The increasing started at here, which is negative infinity, and it goes to what x value?
0.
0. Did that, you still don't get where the 0 is coming from?
Yeah.
You do or you don't?
9.
Okay. Constant. Are there any constants?
What's that?
What do you think a constant would look like? It would look like flat. It would have no slope. So are there any constants? No. Okay. So what's the next attribute we're going to talk about?
Positive and negative.
Positive and negative. So what would positive be? Where would that be? So if we're talking about the y's, positive y's would be above the x-axis, right? And then where would the negative y's be? Okay, so if I look at this, the positive y's is here. That's where the y's are, the positive y's. I have to identify those with the x's. So y'all, where does this go from? This x to this x. What are those? Where does that touch on the x-axis? X. Negative 2 to 2, right? So now, here's the underneath the axis from here to here. What do you, tell me what you're not getting, guys. What are you not getting? Okay. So, the positive is where, what I'm asking is, where are the y values positive? So, on this axis,
Oh, on top.
it's on top, right? So that's where the pink is, the blue is. That's where the positive part of that function is. It's above the x-axis. Does that make sense? And where the pink is below the x-axis. That's the negative. So even if you can't do anything else, do we have that? Like we get this. Okay, so that's where the y's are. You name that by the x's, where the graph touches the x-axis. So where does the graph touch the x-axis?
Our negative 10.
-2 to 2. That? Yes? You get it or you don't? All right, then I'm going to call on you next. So what's the negatives?
It's gonna be negative infinity.
Negative infinity to what?
Infinity.
Where does it touch the x-axis, honey?
Oh. Thanks. Wait, is that a comma or a U?
It's a U,
What does U stand for?
union,
Mini?
union. That was on the domain and range we already did.
It means already.
It does not mean it's together, that's good. Okay. You have a question? Where? On this side? Okay, so you're telling me with x's what the y is doing, right? So the y is negative in the pink. And so it starts at what number? 2 and goes to positive infinity. Just like a book. Yes? Okay. Now what's the domain here? Are there any open circles?
No.
No, so from left to right, this is negative infinity to infinity. And the range is bottom to top. What's the bottom y value? It's 0 to infinity, and it's a bracket because it's included. Okay, I am going to start on the left. On the left. Is this increasing or decreasing?
Decreases.
Okay, and then what happens?
It increases. And then it decreases. And then it increases.
So the pink is the decreasing and the blue is the increasing. That's where the y's are decreasing and the y's are increasing. Now, we identify this with our x's. So which way is this?
Negative.
Negative infinity. And where does this touch the x-axis?
Negative 3.
-3. So I am decreasing from negative infinity to -3. And then what do? From -3 up to here, but be careful. -3 up to here. Now, what is the x value here? 0. So that increase is -3 to 0. And then what happens in this little piece?
It goes from 3 to 0.
We'll go from 0 to 3. Let's go small first to the bigger number. So 0 to 3,
Oh, also because.
and then 3 to infinity. Okay. Questions? Ask them before I move on. Where?
How did they increase?
What do you mean, how did I get it? Take your finger, right? Where does it increase? Does it increase here? No, it's decrease. What does it do here? Now it increases. Decrease. You have to start on the left, go to the right. All right, any constants here? No. All right. All right. Now I want to do positive and negative. Positive and negative. So my first question is that, y'all, if you don't want to be in, let me know. I'll just seat it out in the hall so I can finish. I'm happy to do that. So the next thing is I want to start with the negatives because y'all, what is below the x-axis? Is anything below the x-axis? No. So we have no negatives. So this is none. The positives. Now, first of all, I want to know, is the whole entire thing positive?
No.
What is not? There's two places that are not positive. What did we say? If it touches the x-axis, is that positive or negative? So this point right here and this point right here, they're not positive. And we can't include them because they're on the x-axis. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to say it's positive from negative infinity to negative 3. And then from negative 3 to 3, and then 3 to infinity. You have to leave the little blue dots out because they're on the x-axis.
This might seem weird, but why don't we use the 1%? Like,
Based on the last one.
What? Yes, 3 to infinity. Because it's a y, remaining is our x's. Okay. No, ask.
Why are we labeling the X with the X value instead of the Y?
Turn your page over, you get it back. What does it say? What are the x values for positive? What are the x that have a positive y value? All right. Okay, domain, left to right. Left to right. So I have a question. If the domain goes to the left, this is negative infinity, and this is going to go positive infinity. So is this included in the x's? It's not, right? So this is like a stop sign. You have to stop here because it's not included for the x's. So this is at, is it 6, y'all? It's hard for me to count up here. So I think negative infinity to 6, and then 6 to infinity. The range is going to go bottom to top. And so what's the bottom going to be? Bottom is going to be negative infinity. And what's your top y value?
2.
2. Now, for the range from bottom to top, do I have to stop here?
No.
Because this is closed, right? So we're going to include it on this side. So this one is going to be negative infinity to 2. All right, you all. Okay, where is it increasing? Is this increasing or decreasing? Increasing, and I want the x's where it's increasing. So it's increasing. This is my x this way. So this is negative infinity to 0. Do I put a parenthesis or a bracket there? Parenthesis. Remember, it can't be going up and down at the same time. Next, that next interval right there. Increasing, decreasing, or constant? Constant, and it's constant from 0 to what number?
4, 3.
I think 3. 0 to 3. And then what happens from 3 to here?
Decreasing.
Decreasing from 3 to 6. Thank you. And then what happens from 6 to infinity? Remember, x's. We're going to infinity. All right, so the last thing, I want to know, where is it positive? Positive is above the x-axis. So here, here, and here. Everything else is below, correct? So that goes from here to here. So my positive would be 2, is it 4?
Yeah.
Okay? Negative 2, yeah. Then the negative on this side is going to be negative infinity to negative 2. And then what? Yes?
4 to
Okay. So, this is correct. And can you tell me why this time I had to stop in the x this direction? Why? It's an open circle, and this is not included, right? If it was included from start to finish, we wouldn't have to do that. But this isn't included, so we have to stop there.